Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. We're out here on a damp and dreary Memorial Day. So, not the best conditions, but still wanted to get a cool video put together for you tonight. Got a little bit of wind, hopefully it won't be too bad. Bringing some new inventory tonight. Before we get into that, we want to think about why we're here today. It's Memorial Day. We want to say thanks to all of our veterans, and both the ones that are here and the ones that didn't make it home, and for everything they did for us. So we definitely want to keep all those guys and gals in mind today, even as we talk about our favorite hobby of old cars, because that's what allows us to do what we do. That's what gives us the freedom to enjoy what we enjoy and love this hobby that we do and love and share with each other. So definitely want to keep that in mind. So anyway, that being said, let's get into tonight's episode, and before this rain busts wide open on us. Starting off with the Adorable AMC Pacer. These are really, really unique little cars. Some call them ugly, some call them adorable. I guess it's a matter of opinion. However, this is one of those cars that were disposable. Nobody cared, nobody saved them, everybody threw them away. And today you don't see them, you can't find them. You can't find good Pacers, you can't find parts for Pacers. Nobody kept any of them. So I'm always excited to find a Pacer or a Gremlin or something like that because they're different. This little car here is pretty much complete. The front suspension missing out of it, but a lot of this car's here. It's the earlier version with this grille and headlight set up on it. We come down around this side of it. This had the actual fake wood grain on it. Probably was a pretty snazzy car in its day with the metallic blue and wood grain. So even had the luggage rack on it. And really this car isn't terrible. It's been sitting for a lot of years. It is missing some of the front suspension out from under it. But other than that, it's pretty much all there. The interior's all still in it. Had these rear windows that open. Not all of them had these. Some of these had a one-piece rear window. These had the little pop-out windows here on the back on this particular one. Come on around the back. Some of our wood grain's peeling off of it. But just a super unique little car and so different. Even still got some of the original hubcaps in there. We can peek in the back. Got the original turbine type hubcap that these things had on them. So super neat little car. Always happy to find some of these old 70s AMCs because nobody kept them. Nobody saved them. And if we don't save them, we can't have parts for them. We can't restore them. We can't fix them up. So this car, I don't know, couldn't possibly even be saved. But regardless, if nothing else, there is a ton of good parts on this car for somebody with one of these old Pacers. This was even the DL model, whatever that stood for. I'm not real sure on that, but neat little car. Brought it in, definitely going to save it. Next to the Pacer, we've got something that everybody loves right now, station wagons. Super cool. I think it's a 1965 Plymouth Fury 3 station wagon. Neat car, factory V8, Commando V8. Still has the hood ornament. It was a 383 car, still has the 383 badge in the hood ornament. What's super neat about this car, at least for local history, was the painting on the side of this car. This was from the skating rink here in Great Bend, Kansas. I'm guessing probably back in the 70s, maybe early 80s they used this car. I'm not even really sure. They had some cool graphics painted down the sides of it. They had some cool graphics painted on the hood of it. We can just barely see the outline left of those graphics. Looked like it was orange against the gold. Skate Center Inc. on the doors. Address in Great Bend, Kansas there on the door. And back along the quarter panel, Great Bend's first family entertainment center. With the graphics come down the side, then they come back up the back here, right on behind the rear quarter window, and kind of fade out. So that's got to be 70s era stuff. Super neat car. It's rough. It's been sitting for years, but really cool. We come on around the back. Everything's still here. The tailgate, the bumper, the lights. Local car sold new here at Marmy Motors in Great Bend, Kansas. So it's literally been here its whole life. We work our way around the other side of this. One thing that puzzles me about this car is it had these badges on the back that this was an amble wagon. So I don't know if this was originally an ambulance and this was a conversion type deal, But typically to see that amble wagon on them, sometimes that's what the conversion companies did when they made ambulances out of these. So I'm kind of up in the air on that. This car hasn't been here that long. I picked it up a couple months ago, have not had time to do a lot of research on it. But something kind of different, something to think about. Adds a little more curiosity to the situation. We come on down this side, we've got our graphics coming down this side with our lettering, just like we did on the other side. The orange against the gold. So back in the day, this was quite the promotional vehicle. The inside's rough. It's been sitting for years and years and years, but it is all still pretty much there. And this car does not have an engine in it anymore, but you know, the trims here, we've got the hash marks on the fenders above the Fury 3. Just a really, really cool car. I wish it was in a little better shape, but it's not. So what we've got is what we've got, but we're definitely going to save it. Obviously, wagons are cool. We love wagons, and I'm always excited to get a wagon in. So, talking about the wagons and the Pacers and what has happened to these cars over the years, nobody ever paid attention to them. Pacers, Gremlins, those cars were all disposable. They were thrown away. Station wagons, they got demo derbied, or they got the roofs cut off of them, so you had a big piece of sheet metal to put a roof and a street rod. Nobody saved station wagons. Always excited to find that stuff. So, one thing that I've got to do in my job is I've got to think ahead. I talk to you guys an awful lot about the future of the hobby, where the hobby's going. I constantly hear people say, why can't we get kids involved in this hobby? Guys, there are tons and tons and tons of kids that love this hobby and want to be part of this hobby. However, there is a big difference in what is an old car to them versus what is an old car to you. Today's high school senior was born in 2002. The kid that graduated last week was born in 2002. So you've got to remember, a 95 Chevy pickup is old to that kid. A Fox Body Mustang is an old car. An 88 Camaro, a 96 Firebird, those are old cars to these kids. So there's a lot of kids that like the hobby, but we've got to be thinking ahead. We've got to be prepared for that shift, and we've got to welcome them into our hobby. That being said, with the two cars we just talked about, as far as people who never save those, that's what I look at going forward, which brings us to the third car for tonight. 2002 Lincoln LS. Now, I know a lot of you guys are sitting there saying, why are you saving a 2002 Lincoln? Well, this is a complete car. It runs and drives. The transmission's a little wonky. But when these cars came out 20 years ago, these were a neat little car. V8 power, rear-wheel drive, had a decent suspension under them. They were kind of a cool car. We'll take a quick walk around this. I know this isn't the most interesting thing, but this is a pretty good little car. They had factory aluminum wheels. This is a straight car. It was pearl white. These were a neat little car. They were a sporty little car. This one had a factory sunroof in it. We'll squeeze our way on around the back. It's a straight little car. There's tons of parts on this car. And inside's all intact and not bad. We drove this car out here. So a lot of you guys are thinking, why are you showing us a 2002 Lincoln? Because this is what we have to think about for the future of our hobby. In their day, 20 years ago, these were a cool little car with the V8, the rear wheel drive. That was something that was just starting to come back into play. We see it all the time today with the Challengers and the Camaros and all this stuff that started coming out in the mid to late 2000s. We started seeing the return to that. In the late 90s, V8 rear wheel drive, you know, was pretty much gone other than Mustang. The Firebird and the Camaro was gone after '02. You know, there wasn't much left. So when these cars started coming back out, the Lincoln LS, the Cadillac CTS, with the V8, the rear-wheel drive, those platforms that we were familiar with, this was the beginning of the resurgence that we have seen over the last 10 years. So, is that the best, most exciting car on the property? Absolutely not. But in my position to do my job correctly and to do it efficiently and help keep this hobby moving forward, I try to think about what's coming up, what's going to be the next thing. And if we don't grab some of these cars now and keep them, because imagine if you'd saved all the station wagons you'd have had the opportunity to save over the last 20 or 30 years before they were demo derby, before the roofs were cut off of them, when nobody cared. So that's why I kind of wanted to go ahead and show you the Lincoln, and we'll talk about why I do that and why I think about some of that stuff, because we've got to be thinking ahead. We want this hobby to continue. We want it to go for a long time. and we want it to go on for generation after generation after generation. So the AMCs were neglected and forgotten about for years, and now they're getting popular. The same thing with station wagons. So the fact that the Lincoln was sitting right here with these two cars, it kind of made sense to put it all into one video. So anyway, that's what I have for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Got any questions, give me a call, 620-786-4428. The number will be on the pages. No texts. I do not respond to texts because they are never clear enough for me to do anything with. More than happy to send you pictures on a text, but I do not have time to play 20 questions on a text. So give me a call, tell me what you need, tell me where we're going with your project. Be more than happy to try to help you. So thanks for being here tonight. As always, I'm glad you guys took a few minutes out of your evening to hang out with me. Having a blast doing these. Check in with us tomorrow night for Toy Tuesday. And we will be back Wednesday night with either some more stuff from the new yard or some more new inventory. We'll see what this weather does for us over the next couple of days and see what we can get put together. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all had a great Memorial Day. Hope you had a great weekend. And like I said, let's not forget why we're here. Let's thank our veterans. And let's remember those guys and what they did. It's the freedom that we have today that allows us to enjoy this hobby to the fullest extent and hang out with our friends and enjoy these cars. So thanks a lot, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow night on Toy Tuesday.